In this battle right here, you have Drake, who obviously thought Kendrick was an easy mark. Obviously, for some reason,
that?
I do. I don't think he took Dot seriously because I think that Drake. The reason why I don't think Drake took Dot seriously is because I think Drake has a low cultural IQ, and so what he doesn't understand is that when you walking at a protest march and All Right is playing, that never leaves you.
Right.
That's a part that
Drake could never make that.
Right. That's not what you do. Like when you're somewhere and you're listening to records and people are talking about like what you've actually gone through. When you listen to Good Kid, Mad City, and you're hearing the whole story of it. When you listen to Dan, when you listen to some of this other stuff that Kendrick has put out, Kendrick is saying, "Hey, I'm talking to you. I'm trying to touch to you. I'm speaking to you. I'm one of you." Right. And so Drake didn't realize that Kendrick was that important. Drake confuses LAs. Drake said, "I'm bigger in your city than you." What Drake was talking about was he's bigger in Hollywood. Drake doesn't know what LA is. Like Drake is saying, "I'm bigger in Hollywood. I'm bigger in West Hollywood. I'm bigger in Beverly Hills." Dot is from LA. There's no way he could think, if he's being honest, that he means more to Los Angeles than Kendrick Lamar does. That doesn't make any sense.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when this thing got busy, Dot knew some stuff. And what he knew was that Drake's support had been eroding for years. Drake put up Free Tory Lanez that eroded some of his support with women. Drake started wearing, I'm just going to be honest, Drake started wearing nail polish and trying to be young. And that eroded some of his support with some of the brothers. The timing was right to actually shoot at him. And Not Like Us is currently spinning everywhere in LA right now that people are dancing.
I'm glad you say that, because on the East Coast, and a lot of East Coast cats weren't feeling that record. And I'm like, this was a West Coast record, up and down, through and through.
Yeah, it's a steppers record. You get out there and you do your thing. It's made like, you know what I'm saying? Like Drake, that record gonna go up all summer long.
Yeah,
and people gonna be screaming out A minor, and they're gonna be screaming out OV Ho, all of that stuff. So
that's the last thing you want.
I don't
know. The last thing you want is
a
a diss record playing in the club. That was the problem back to back.
And that was the problem with Hit 'Em Up.
Right.
When you have something that people can dance to, it gets sticky.
Yeah.
And it'll be around for the whole summer. And then now there's certain spots you're not gonna want to go to because you're gonna be in these spots and they're gonna spin that record. Yeah. So Kendrick was able to spin a narrative about Drake and just crack the door on some of these things that people have been saying about him. When a whisper gets loud, it becomes a statement.
Yeah.
And whether that stuff is true or not, most of it's probably not. but people now want to talk about it. It's out there. It's a thing, and it's going to be on them.
Does this feel different to you?
It's felt different since Pusha T, because Pusha T's entire narrative was, this guy isn't who you think he is.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he's whack. It wasn't that he's obsessed with me. It wasn't that I'm better than him. It was that this guy's like a complete and total fraud. And in order to prove that, you have to come with Drake and blackface. You have to come with Drake as hiding a child. You have to come with, this guy's weak in every possible way. So now that's kind of what disses are. They're doing research on each other, trying to dig up dirt on each other, trying to get people to talk about each other. And there've always been secrets that have come out. Jay-Z revealed that he had slept with Nas's baby's mom. Pac.
Even that feels different.
It does. But the last track here, Drake alludes to a song called Mother I Sober, where he thinks in that song that Kendrick Lamar confesses to being molested as a child. And that's actually not what's happening in the song, but that's what Drake thinks.
Does Drake think that, or does he want us to think that?
It doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
To bring that up, like, I'm not saying that he's any wronger than anything else and whatever, because we're talking about people's kids and families, but that just shows you where we are. if you've known enough rappers, you know that they get to a point to where ego and perception is the biggest thing. And they'll go to they become essentially kings of little economic countries because they have all of these guys around them that are relying on them, that are looking at them in some of the most toxic alpha male type stuff that exists. So because of that, they don't want to take a loss, and they certainly don't want to take a public loss. And Drake felt like he had to hit lower. Also, I don't think that these guys, I think Kendrick knows. Kendrick deeply, 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 deeply hates Drake, if you're asking me.
There's no doubt about that. This isn't friendly competition. This is far more Ja Rule 50 at its worst.
Yeah.
Than it is Nas, Jay-Z even, which was still
the only difference between Ja Rule and 50 is that was actually some street shit that became rap. But it's that level of hatred.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so I just think that you're never going to see these guys play ping pong like Drake and Meek Mill did. These guys aren't going to be friends. It's not going to happen. And the most important thing to Drake at that point was to try to make Kendrick feel as bad as what he was feeling. And once again, I just don't think Drake has enough cultural IQ to read black rooms very well.